Melancholia is a movie about loneliness and friendship and how this the loneliness without the friendship affects the characters, and the main focus is about David, a teen guy who is presumably lonely in this age, like 16 or 17, and everyone goes through that phase of being alone and in kind of solitude. But David is not in a solitude because he presumably only finds joy in this place, which is the garden. And I wanted to make the movie about the garden because it is a place about the nature and the relationship between the nature and the character and how that affects them. In a presumably kind of not over the top, but in a very subtle way. My inspirations of Melancholia were, first of all, the film or series, we can say, Outone by Jacques Rivette.
Mais c'était presque des années, hein, on avait dit.
Et moi, lui dit qu'est-ce que je...
And in that film, how he described a group portrait of the people, of intellectuals of the theater company in France. The people interact with each other and how they roam in the street. There's a very famous scene of the actor Jean-Pierre Léaud, which I applaud and has very similar inspirations from the film.
Équipage, équipage, équipage.
Second would be Waves. Waves has the visual quality of a film, and I love that film. Incredible what Trey Edward Schultz and the incredible actors who starred in the film did. And visually there are many visual cues of that in my film, and I took a lot from that. So thank you for making that movie. Trey Edward Schultz, shout out to him. He's a great man. And second would be Beginning by Dia Kambushali. She's a great new talent, and her film leaved a quite deep remark on how the society and grief comes, and the topic of this film also has grief and the kind of grief that loneliness has, and the joy of the nature, and how it's surrounded that film. And it also has quite similarities of how the incredible actress of the film performed, and I'm very very moved by that.
Wacht even.
Hanzari.
Ja?
Hanzari.
Ja, eerst.
And the last would be obvious. It's Call Me Our Name, and I love the director's work, Luca Guadagnino, and I'm really inspired by that. I have no words for Call Me Our Name. It's such a great film, and everybody knows that. Making this movie was quite tough for me. It took 5 years for developing the script, the project, and cultivating it by ideas I got through while making it. I have more than 5 scripts in my closet now, and obviously each one is quite different, but also has the similarity of why I was making this, and eventually many got scrapped. There is one version of the film that didn't make it out, and I had to scrap it and make another one. But it was quite tough ride. But yeah, it always pays off, because the joy of seeing a vision come to life, it's something else. And as I will close by saying the quote by the great director Bernardo Bertolucci, that when you have the responsibility of making a film on your shoulder, and while quite at a young age, I think he said, when he was making before the revolution, and quite inspired by Pessoa himself. And while making it, he said that the responsibility of a film on your shoulder at a quite of a young age, you have two options. Either you accept that responsibility and shoot it direct in your veins and make the film, or you get squished by the responsibility. So I hope people will see my film and be quite shaken, and also there's a little ray of hope, I think, of being lonely and also being happy. And I think my